All right, the camera's rolling. When you're ready.
My name is Katla Khalujala. About 7 months ago, my husband Dumani went away on a business trip for 2 weeks. I was home alone, and on the third night of his absence, his boss and best friend Sigiwe came knocking at our door. I opened the door and let him know that my husband was away for work. He seemed disappointed, so I let him in for coffee. He stayed for about an hour, and we had two cups of coffee. We were sitting in the lounge, and he started getting really close, even moved a seat over so he could be next to me. I started getting really uncomfortable, and when I realized what he was getting at, I stood up and asked him to leave. He said that was not what he meant at all. So I asked him, what did he mean? He grabbed my arm and pulled me closer. So I slapped him. But then he grabbed both my arms and pulled me back. I struggled, but he had me by both my arms and threw me on top of the couch backwards and got on top of me and started to rape me. He stayed for most of the night and raped me 6 times. He only stopped to answer phone calls from his wife, who he told he was stuck at work or in a meeting. Eventually, at about 12 p.m., he left. He threatened me by saying if I told my husband, he would fire him and we would lose everything. So when Dumani came home, I didn't say anything. I was scared, you know? His work was so important to him, and Sigiwe was a very powerful man. I honestly believed that he would do what he said he would. So I kept it a secret and tried not to let it get to me. But in the end, it did. After 2 months, I found out I was pregnant. Dumani and I always practiced safe sex, so I couldn't say that it was his. He wouldn't believe me. And anyway, I didn't want to lie about having somebody else's child and pretend it was his. So I told him everything. He was furious at me. He said that I should have told him when he was away and he would have quit his job immediately and come straight home. Dumani is not pro-abortion, but given the circumstances, he supported me through the whole process. Even when I told him that I didn't want to report the case because I didn't want to deal with the hell that came with the authorities. And I didn't want to damage our reputation. He quit his job anyway and got a job at a different firm. And I haven't seen Sigiwe since, but I doubt he'll be back.
Okay, when you're ready.
Alright, my name is Isabella. I'm the youngest of 4 children. I'm the only girl. I have 3 older brothers. And this whole thing happened when I was 13. My youngest brother Dylan, I guess you can say he never really got over my father leaving us and all of that. So he got in with the wrong crowd, and they would always come over to our house for like pizza or games or like movies or whatever. And he had this one friend, let's call him Tyler. Call him Tyler. Tyler was like very cute, and he always used to compliment me and flirt with me and say I was pretty and all of that. And I would flirt back because it was just very flattering, because I didn't expect him, to even notice me because he's 4 years older. But I didn't think he was interested in me or anything. And my mom didn't really like him at all, but it didn't matter because she was always at work. She used to work night shift at that time. Anyway, so one night Dylan and I were at home alone. Brandon was out working and Wesley was out with his friends. And Tyler came over and he played with Dylan. And I was in my room. And Dylan fell asleep. And Tyler came and spoke to me. And then, I don't know, it just seemed really weird, you know. So I told him I had to get ready for bed, and then he said he was going to wake Dylan up, play one more game, and then leave. So he hugged me and left my room. And I got into the shower about 15 minutes later. And when I turned around, Tyler was standing outside the shower, and I told him to go away, but he got into the shower with me. He started kissing me and all of that, and I kissed him back. But then he started taking his clothes off, and I told him to stop because I didn't want to do anything. But he told me that I was only saying that because I was so young and I didn't want to lose my virginity so early and all of that. I mean, muffled my voice, and then I guess Dylan couldn't hear anything because of the shower, and then he raped me, and then he left and said goodbye. And then I cried on the floor because I just couldn't believe it. And Brandon came home and he saw me, and he brought me a towel, and I didn't want to tell him what had happened because I was really embarrassed. I felt so bad because I felt like I embarrassed my family and myself. But I told Brandon anyway because you could see something was wrong, and he was so angry. He called Wesley to come home, and he woke Dylan up and he beat Dylan. I felt really bad about that. And when Wesley came home, they took their knives and they went out looking for Tyler.
Did they intend to kill Tyler?
No, I didn't. Look, I don't know, if they didn't kill him, they probably beat him to within an inch of his life. They were so angry. I've never seen my brothers that angry before. Even we never talk about it, so I don't know.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
We're rolling.
Okay, so my name's Kristen. I was with my girls at a club one night. It was supposed to be a girls' night out, but, we all knew we wanted to pick someone up. We drank a lot, we danced a lot. By the end of the night, 2 of my friends had already disappeared somewhere with a guy. Around 1 a.m., only Melissa and I were left without a hookup. I was quite drunk. I don't remember much. I remember feeling quite sick and dizzy after a song, so I went back outside for some air. But that's where it got a bit messy. I didn't really know what was happening. All I remember was smoke and games and guys. But I woke up clear-headed though. In the back seat of some car. I was naked. I found my clothes on the seat and I started to get dressed, but then out of nowhere this guy pops his head up and says hi, opens the door and slides in next to me. I was so confused, but then I suddenly remembered making out with him in the car and taking clothes off. I remember he said his name was Ryan Dlamini. I told him, what's happening? I don't remember anything from last night. And he said, we were playing games outside and apparently I'd lost a bet. The winner got to do whatever he wanted to the loser. He started to unstrap my bra. He started to kiss my neck, hold me tight. I didn't know what was happening, but he was trying to make some sort of a point, that I was the loser. I tried to move away. I tried to get out the car, but he pulled me back. And then he pushed himself inside of me. I couldn't move. He was just so strong. I remember I smelled weed and beer on him. When he was done, he allowed me to get dressed. He went outside the car to take a piss, and I quietly opened the door and I ran for it. I ran to the club. I expected him to follow me, but he just let me go. I called Melissa. She had left just a few minutes before me. When I got in the car, I told her what had happened, but she was so unsympathetic and pissed at me. I didn't know why. I asked her, and she said it was because I was playing shot games, taking drugs, smoking pot, making out with some guy in the streets. I was in such a bad state, but as a friend, I would have thought she would have taken care of me a bit better, you know? Anyway, I had the rape reported. They tested me and arrested the guy. He was arrested for drug-facilitated sexual assault. But because he said he didn't rape me, he got off free. Only for drug possession. The court put aside the whole case. He said he didn't rape me, and just because of that, they were like, "Oh no, it's okay. She was intoxicated. She consented the first time. The second time, she didn't struggle." They made it as if my statement was unreliable.
How do you feel knowing Tyler might have died because you said that he raped you? If you consented the first time, then what's so bad about the second time?
Well, the first time I guess I wanted it. But I was drunk. I didn't really know what I was doing, and
What were you wearing that night?
I don't think that question is relevant.
it was the normal club-going outfit. A blazer, some jewelry. I don't see how that could have provoked anything.
I didn't ask for him to have sex with me, so yes, it's rape.
I thought my husband would leave me over it.
Did you orgasm?
No.
I have no reason to lie to him.
I liked him. I mean, he was really cute and whatever, but like, I didn't want anything else to happen.
I didn't remember the night, but I remember what he was doing when he was doing it.
But it's not like I wanted him to come into the shower while I was naked and stuff.
He said he seemed like a nice guy.
Like, I felt like I was embarrassing everyone.
And when my husband wasn't there, as a good wife, I offered him a cup of coffee.
Okay, I kissed him back.
He raped me, I know that.
I told him to stop, and he didn't stop.
And I was just being polite and inviting.
Did you enjoy it?
No, not one bit.
I didn't want to go against, like, my family, and
I screamed as loud as I can, but there's only so much you can do.
But they said if I had won the bet, I would have slept with him anyway.
Dylan's still really angry about it.
I thought I'd be okay.
And he still defends him and says that I tempted him and flirted with Tyler.
But clearly I wasn't.
What was he supposed to do?